G'day everyone, this is Expand the Phantom podcast. We are a website, we are a podcast, we are a way of life. You can find us at chroniclechamber.com, of course. I am Steve, and in this podcast we are reviewing the newspaper stories and discussing the news from January and February. In our next podcast, we'll be discussing the comics from January and February. First of all, allow me to introduce the one, the only, Jermayn Parker. How you going over there in the West there, mate?
Hot and muggy. It is hot and muggy over here. My daughter woke up and said, "Oh, it's like we're back in Bali," without fun, of course. Only if only we were there. No, and then I hear you've got some babies on the way that have come along as well since we've
Yeah.
last talked.
Yeah, we're hopping around with joy. There's 4 baby bunnies over here in our household at the moment, and there are cute little fluff balls at the moment, but which is better than a couple of weeks ago when they were skinless little aliens. But no, they are looking very cute. It's definitely not muggy over here in the on the eastern side of the country. I'm in my jumper, whereas I look at the screen and Jermayn's there in his t-shirt. But
Got a fan behind me as well to try and keep the
fan
cool air
behind you as
from me.
well. No, I've got a few windows open and get the air through, but that's about it. Anyway, without any further ado, it's been a while since we've had a look at the dailies and the newspapers. So let's get into it. Rightio. Now, it is daily number 269, the Muckmen of the Zamaridi River. And since we last left off, I probably should say there's probably going to be some spoilers. We can't really explain what's been happening without providing some spoilers. Basically, General Zuma has now been captured, but I'm going to get the patrol woman, the intelligence woman. She hasn't done things quite by the book, and Colonel Warrelboo, I'm forgetting my names today, isn't really happy about these. He can be quite hard-nosed when it comes to procedure and doing things by the book, whereas we know the Phantom, he doesn't mind, just going on the outskirts, coming in through the window rather than the door, like he has done in the pictures coming up there. And good old Devil, he's a friendly little dog. He causes a nice little distraction as well.
That was quite amusing. I did like that little misdirection from Devil there.
Yes, it's just a friendly pooch. Yeah, this must have been his home. Shake. Oh, he's well trained. Oh, great. Hang on. Why is he growling? Bang! It all happens. And after that, I really like the artwork that happens in this little period afterwards. The darkness, the Phantom in the shadows, the eyes of the mask glowing in the dark, and the eyes of Devil as well. And it is quite the fear for a man to wake up and stare into the face of the angry Phantom, or turn the ice cold turn your blood ice cold, they might say. How have you thought that this last couple of months has gone, Jermayn?
Look, like you really enjoyed this sequence here, which you're seeing on screen if you're on YouTube, where the Phantom's in all dark and you've got 2 skull men going through. I must admit, I also liked seeing Werribee basically demoting the patrol woman as well. Like, I thought she crossed the lines. She was told not to do this. She was told to step aside, and she blatantly disobeyed orders. So I'm enjoying the fact that there's some order in the Jungle Patrol, and she's being
reprimanded.
Reprimanded.
She's under arrest, isn't she?
Yeah, so I must admit, I like that, and I don't think she's fit to be a patrol person.
Really? Geez, that's a big call.
Yeah, I know. It's at the time we're recording this. I think it's National Women's Day and
International Women's Day was just a couple of days ago, and you're saying that this woman should be demoted. That's
she should be kicked out of the Jungle Patrol.
Kicked out of the Jungle Patrol for maybe disobeying an order. However,
not just once, several times.
She was the one that captured General Zuma.
Did she capture General Zuma?
Well, if she shouldn't, Well, the
Well, you got a
unknown
picture here
commander
on the
sure helped her.
yeah, you got here the 13th of February. Basically, the Phantom has to, and which we didn't review it in this bit, but the Phantom had to go outside of his plans because she overstepped her mark. So,
Yeah, but he's the Phantom. He can change on a dial.
yeah, that's all well and good, but you know, when you're not following orders and stuff like that, you run the risk of, being told off. And I would like to see her, for me, I hope it doesn't turn, well, you disobeyed orders, but we'll let you off. I would hate to see that. And I think that will be sloppy riding. I would like to see, where
Ooh,
basically, she's in trouble and she stays in trouble.
wow, you're straight down the line here, Jam. No rule breaking in the Parker household. You'll no matter if it comes with a good outcome.
I got three
The
kids. I
the
can't I can't afford to have any rule do any rule
the
bending in my house.
the ends definitely don't justify the means in your book. Whereas if you look on Tuesday, March 10th, this upcoming week, there's a panel there with the Phantom saying, Dai Lu Han's the officer of the hour, fellas. Her capture of General Chuma ought to square things with Colonel Warrabu. Of course, he can be quite hard-nosed and going by the book. So from that, I'm reading that the Phantom's quite fine with it. In fact, she excelled at being a patrol woman, even though she made a mistake. She is human, like all of us. But she put her sidearm down. They make a point of saying that, and saying that, well, General, if she's putting her sidearm down, you should really be worried because you're about to get your butt kicked. And of course, he did.
Yeah, and look, it's good that Tony Paul is following the fact that patrol people are, like there's the one patrol person is worth 10 normal people, and that they can handle situations and stuff like that. So obviously she is physically able to be a patrol person, but you have to be able to follow orders.
Yeah, if you don't follow
And
orders, then there's chaos, and there's no chaos in the jungle patrol. Um, but it's going to be interesting where it goes because if you look at the panels, the rest of the Jungle Patrol don't think it's quite right that she's getting her well, she's under arrest. I'm about to say her
yeah,
marching orders, but
yeah,
I won't say that just yet. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. And by the way, it's worth noting that she has quite openly said, "Look, I've done the wrong thing. I'm not."
yeah,
Don't stand up for me. I've done the wrong thing. Here's my
yeah.
sidearm. She is going into that. She's willingly put herself under arrest. She's doing what she is told. So she's being very cooperative in this little passage of play.
Yeah, and that is good. You got you right. The other thing that I think I'm liking is that I feel like some of the panels they could have been drawn out a little bit longer. Like for instance, when Devil was there, and then when the guys woke up, we could have had a whole week of the Phantom punching them. But I
Oh,
feel
did you
like that
want
was
that?
a well, no, I actually feel that was a good edit point where it was like we know what was going to happen. We know what happened, and then we just kind of got straight to the bit where it's like, there was Devil, and then they woke up. So I kind of like that edit point as well, where you got rid of we. It was a good edit from whether it was Tony or whoever, but I did enjoy that where it made it a little bit more speedy, a little bit more punchier. And then it looks like that we're wrapping it up now. Like on the 7th of March, it's got the word next epilogue or something like
Yes, it
that.
did say
So
that too.
yeah. So
Um,
I reckon we've got a week or two left of this, which will be interesting to see what happens.
yeah. And on that, the quick punch out, not having to see it, often Tony can be criticized for drawing things out. But I think just doing it quick really goes into what the Phantom is. One punch, bang, you're
Yeah.
down. And the time's been given to the battle between General Chuma and
Patrol person.
Dailu Han. Yeah,
Yeah.
because well, she's not the Phantom, but she can handle herself, and but it's going to take a little bit longer than just one punch. Um, Yes, and as you say, the last thing that we see there is epilogue next week, or next week epilogue. So looking forward to see how it's wrapped up. Will she be court-martialed? Will she still be a member of the Jungle Patrol? We'll wait and find out.
There was also the bit where Wurubu and the patrol person were talking. He said something along the lines of, when you left, he made mention of like, like when she left to go on the job, that things weren't totally right either. So so it kind of gives me the impression that this isn't the first time she's crossed a few boundaries and ticked off a few people for doing the wrong things.
Rightio. See, but it's good to see people with character. They're not
Yes.
just nameless faces in a patrol uniform. They're actually got personalities and character. So, and it's good to, we've got Captain Weeks, we've got the two other patrol women, and now we've got Dailu Han. So, yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
Okay, so moving on, we have got the start of a new Sunday story. So, Sunday 198, which is entitled 1536. 1536. Where have I heard that date before, Jermaine?
1536. Well, if Dan was here, we'll say that was around, he'll be able to tell us because he was around then. Um, but no, 1536 was the date that's been given for the origin of the Phantom.
Yeah, so once we see a number like 1536, we know that this story is all about the first Phantom. And so far in this story, well, we all know that the Phantom, the first Phantom, is the sole survivor of a pirate raid, and he's washes up on the shores of Bengala, and he is cared for by the Bandar. And at the moment, this is where as far as the story's really gone. He's washed up. The Bandar have taken care of him, but he's still lost in thought. He wants to get back out there. He's thinking maybe the English will help him. Maybe the Portuguese, they're our friends. I'll spend 3 years on a Portuguese vessel. I'll go to the West Indies or India or wherever else I'm head off to. And he's lighting the beacon, as it were, so that he can be found by the night watchman, on the lookout, because these half a dozen or so lamps on the beach aren't natural light, so they will surely catch the attention of any passing merchant vessel. But little does he know that he might not be rescued, even though at the moment he's still holding out hope that even though these people are friendly, it's not his home.
When this story was proposed, when Tony first hinted it in his blog, I was thinking, sweet, we're going to learn more about the first Phantom. We're going to probably look behind the mask, so to speak. But I don't know, it's been a bit, I don't know if this is going to sound too negative, but it's been a bit dry, even though he's going for a lot of swims. Um, he just, I don't know. Like we've got, how many weeks we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've almost got 2 months so far. It started in first of well, no, sorry, the 2nd of January. Um, is that right? I don't know, whenever it was. But yeah, I don't know. It's nothing's really happened yet.
No, but he's grappling with this life-altering moment in his life, this huge event. At the moment, he's doing what any good sailor would do, and pleading for rescue or hoping that he is rescued. But there's a monumental shift in everything that he's known, and it's going to take some time to deal with that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. It's it's a bit dry at the moment. There's elements that I'm enjoying, like I'm enjoying the loneliness of the first Phantom, which he's
Hmm.
experiencing. The fact that he's having to learn a different language. That
That seems to be happening pretty
he's
quickly, though. Him and the band
yeah,
are catching on pretty quick.
you know, um, So, there's those elements that that I enjoy, but I don't know, 7 weeks and not much has happened yet. It hasn't found this, I don't know.
Yeah. Will we see the Wasaka? Is that going to happen or?
I think it will,
Hmm?
because Tony did make mention of that, and I don't think he liked, that you got a white savior element. So
Mm.
I get a feeling that that will kind of be retconned a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Lee Falk brushed over it too quickly, and I feel Tony Paul might be getting a little bit stuck in the reads, so to speak. So it's kind of like wouldn't mind if Tony speeds it up a little bit.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. And just it was you're thinking Australian dates, by the way, Jim. In American dates, it was the 1st of February it started. The Americans put their
Yeah,
dates around the wrong way.
yeah, Americans do a lot of things wrong, like they spell things with Z and all that as well.
And afraid
But
of
we
Jews.
won't. Yeah. But yeah,
Even though we're critical, we still enjoy reading
the
the
artwork's
official
great.
law. Oh, the artwork is phenomenal, and I did mention in the dailies, or something I did forget about the dailies. There seemed to be a bit of some parallels, I think, between certain leaders and yes men and what have you. And I thought, oh, I was having a bit of a chuckle at that too.
Yeah. Look, I I think, and it probably sounds like I'm being a little bit overcritical with Tony in this podcast, but I feel like he's definitely not afraid to push the envelope, and I think that's a good thing. He's not just he's trying to bring the character forward, which I enjoy, but I just feel like I don't know, the 7 weeks could have been maybe done in 4 or 5 weeks so far, which just makes it a little bit more punchier. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion.
Hmm,
And we would love to hear your personal opinion. So make sure you let us know in the
absolutely.
comments, social media, YouTube, and all those other type of areas as well.
Yes. Do you agree with Germ? Should Dailu Han be punished and kicked out of the Jungle Patrol? Has Tony DePaul taken too long to allow the first Phantom story to flourish? Yeah, you let us know. Okay, so we'll park the stories there for the moment, and in our next podcast, we'll review the latest comics coming out from Australia and around the world. Let's turn to some news, German. We've got some sad news to begin off with, some passing of some Phantom Giants. First off with Ulf Granberg.
Yeah, so obviously we've done a podcast reflecting on Elf. So if you haven't listened to that one, it's worth doing. It is worth listening to it. We chop up some excerpts from our original podcast with him as well. Look, go have a listen to it. Most people might think he was just like an Egmont creator, but his influence was quite large from an Australian point of view, but also from the newspaper, daily and Sunday newspaper strips as well. So yeah, so if you're on YouTube, you'll see a couple of photos from the funeral as well, which we've been sent to us from some people who attended as well. So yeah, so our thoughts are with his family.
Absolutely, and thank you all for all that you gave us
Yeah.
in the Phantom world. But in the next one on our list is Heine Bade. I hope I pronounced it. I'll probably butcher his name, which isn't nice. Here's another one who's passed recently, Jim.
Yeah, it was like the week after or something. It was a really sad. I think it was they were all, and then one that we're going to talk about after this as well. That was all within like about 2 weeks in the end of January. So yeah. Look, I communicated a bit with Henya probably in the last couple of years. He created a friendship with Burn Friends, who will be reviewing one of his stories that he wrote that Henya drew in the next podcast. Created, I think it was just under 100 fandom stories. I
Oh,
think we
crikey.
talked to Dudley, and I think there's a couple of stories that hasn't been published in Australia, which will be featured later on in the year. So and I think he said he wanted to do a bit of a reflection on Henya as well. So that'll be good. There's also it was like about a week before his passing, there was an announcement that a German publisher, because he's German, will actually be what do you call it? Republishing some of his stories as well. So it's a bit of a pity that he won't be around to see some of those, but it'll be good. Hopefully some of his fellow countrymen will appreciate some of the work that he has put into the fandom.
Yeah, 100 stories. I didn't realize he was that prolific, but yes, another one who be sorely missed in
Yeah.
the world of the Phantom. Um, and the final name we have here is Chris Smith.
Yeah. Now, Chris Smith, he used to write a lot for the Friends of the Phantom newsletter, which was done by Ed Rhodes and Pete Clowes and Bob Griffin and a couple of others. His passing was quite sudden. Um, he he's probably going to be more remembered for the amount of research that he put into the Phantom. He had this uncanny ability to be able to find these items that no one knew existed. Like I'm thinking of the first ever Phantom ring, which I know Gary Horn now owns. But no one even heard of this Phantom ring until he found out about it. And then there was quite a lot of other stuff that he just yeah he had this uncanny ability. It's been matched by no one. No one's even come close where he can just find these unique items. So yeah, he'll be missed because he brought a real spotlight to digging up and finding information on past publications and past items from far-flung areas of the world and stuff like that. So yeah, it was always fascinating to see what he would come up with next.
Hmm, okay. Um, there's something a little bit more positive now, German. I wish I was wearing the t-shirt. I'm not wearing the t-shirt for this exclusive. But Saturday Morning Cards have announced Volume 2 of the Phantom collectible art cards. Rock
Mm,
on. I am really, really looking forward to this. I'm really hoping now, too, that now that Volume 1 has come out and it's been, successful, that Phantom artists will get on board with this.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a great point. I think there will be a greater like it's kind of funny, like you make mention of that. Before when he first started doing this, he actually contacted a lot of artists, and not many fandom credited artists actually bothered replying. But I get the feeling that if he tried doing that again now, there'll be a lot more fandom artists that will say, "Oh yeah, we'll do it, we'll do it, we'll do it." Um, because they've realized that he's not just looking for a freebie or something like that. That that he puts his wallet where his mouth is. There's volume 2, like you said, has been announced. I would like to see if I was again, if I was to be critical, I feel like I'm being critical a fair bit in this podcast so far.
You're a cranky old man, mate.
I
Welcome to the 40s.
reckon, yeah, that's it. Almost mid 40s now as well, so I can't even say early 40s. Is that some of the art cards were similar? Like, for instance, you had the different colors and you had the rainbow of the rain effect, which was of the same design. And so, if I had to be critical, I would like to see, say if he has five, half a dozen, 10 different designs, that they're different designs, like noticeably different. And I think that's my, that's my one criticism of probably the whole set is that,
And so you're
um,
you're talking about the base cards, not the art, like
yeah,
the sketch
yeah,
cards.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The art card. It will be also nice to see some of the sketch, one of one cards to be by some people that we know, like, whether it's, Australian artists like Jamie Johnson, Alex Tripp, Lauren Marshall, Paul Mason, and some of these other type of creators. It'll
Of
be good
course.
to see some of those, some from
Hmm.
America and stuff like that as well as the ones that we haven't seen before. But yeah, no, really looking forward to it. When we know more, we'll let yous know. Keep an eye on their social media. Keep an eye on our social media as well. And yeah, really looking forward to volume 2.
And I really hope that these cards, from card collectors and getting into it and whatever, draws them back to the Phantom, or goes and check out that movie again, or there's still comic books. Because after speaking with Dan, isn't it,
Yes.
from Saturday Morning Cards, and he was talking about the Rocketeer a lot, and I thought, oh, crikey, the Rocketeer! I haven't seen that movie in ages. I went back and watched that a few weeks ago. That movie's great. I loved it. It was awesome. So hopefully, things like that can happen with people checking out these Phantom cards.
Yeah, you make a great point. He connected with this guy that sells on Whatnot. Now, it's
What's a
a
whatnot?
Whatnot's kind of like an online portal where basically you're watching live videos and he opens stuff and or like he had a case of these Phantom cards and he goes, all right, put your bids in. So you bid live
Mm.
and then whoever bids it then gets that card, and so he opens it. So the anticipation's there, like, oh, is it a sketch card? Is it a rare card? Is it a chase card? And then there was a lot of people on there saying, oh, the Phantom. I haven't read the Phantom. I haven't watched the Phantom for ages, and I remember Billy Zane, or I remember Defenders of the Earth, and all this type of stuff. And the good thing about Dan is that he he's a great what would you call it? A great social media influencer. But he's really big in the card industry, which is that secondary market which is going to, interest people. So, we've got all the Rusted On fans that, listen to this podcast or follow us on the website and stuff like that. But, with these other items, we want new fans. We want fans who may pick up this because they're a card collector and they're going, oh, I really enjoyed this. I remember reading it as a kid. Oh, Mad Cave are releasing a series. Let me go buy that series. That's what we want. We want those new fans jumping on because they brought one of these cards or something like that.
And really, it's a good time to get back and check out the movie because, as it so happens, the Phantom has just gotten the boutique Blu-ray treatment. You can see it on
Say
4K.
that
You can
20
see it on
times.
the boutique Blu-ray treatment. Who writes this stuff on the run sheet? That's why you got
That
me to
was
run
not
today.
me, that was Scott.
Thank you, Scott, for that little tongue twister. So, yeah, this April coming up, independent art house film distributor Kino Lorbo is releasing new HD and 4K remasters of The Phantom, starring, of course, Billy Zane. And yeah, timing couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah. Now, I would love to see Saturday Morning Cards do a Billy Zane version. I'm not sure whether they could or licensing and all that type of stuff, but that could be cool. But getting back to this now, I'm not one of those people that, well, I'll probably will buy this, but I'm not one of those people that buys Blu-rays for a collector's point of view. But this again is the same thing as what we were talking about before. Is there's people out there that don't like Netflix, that they collect DVDs or Blu-rays and stuff like that. So when they see this, they're going to go, oh, I remember watching The Phantom when I was a kid in the 90s. And they're going to buy it from a nostalgia point of view. And then they might go, oh, do people still produce the Phantom comics? Oh, Mad Cave are doing it. Oh, sweet. I'm going to go buy it. And so this is where all the things are, this is where it's important. People are going to go, well, why don't we have a new TV show? So they're going to talk about it. And then they're going to find our website, which says Netflix is about to do it. And then they're going to go, oh, sweet Netflix. And then they're going to talk about how Netflix are going to be producing the Phantom. This is what it's all about. And, if we want the Phantom to be popular, we need these things to come out. And we need people that, not the rusted on fans, we need new fans to buy things and buy Phantom comics from America and from Australia and all that type of stuff. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, but it's worth noting it only says available in the US and Canada at the moment.
Do they still have region
Uh,
locking on DVDs these days?
I'll say yes, but I haven't checked.
Yes, but look, let's face it. If I buy it, I'm not going to be buying it to watch it. I'm going to be buying it to add it to the shelf. So,
Yeah, but there's plenty of extra special
mm.
features. There's new commentary by the director Simon Windsor. Oh, new interview with Billy Zane. So there's a couple of things there, and an interview with the composer. So
Nice.
there's a couple of bonus interviews in there. you've been talking about, or no, you've been talking about Mad Cave a little bit in segueing from Saturday Morning Cards and the Blu-ray treatment. Um, but Mad Cave Studios have got one shot coming out. Is that correct with Skyband?
Beautiful segues as well, Steve. You've
No.
obviously put a lot of homework into the run sheet today. Um, but yeah, so we've just had the regular series 1 to 5, which is just finished with, I think, after catching up with our reviews. So I think 332 is going to be a review, an in-depth review of issues 1 to 5 from Mad Cave. But they've announced the next one is going to be a one shot, which is like about 40 odd pages, I believe it is, which is going to be about the Skyban. But what's actually interesting is that there's been and he's done a great article about this. Again, if you want to read it, check our show notes, where he talks about the fact that it looks like we're going to be having two more one shots after the Skyban as well. So it's interesting if these are just going to be random, or whether just, and then we're going into a regular series again, or whether we're just going to be having one shots from now on. I think I'm not a huge comic book fan outside the fandom, but I think Mad Caves do a mixture of both with some of their other characters like Dick Tracy and Flash Gordon. So yeah, it'll
Uh,
be interesting to see what happens. But Scott's all over it. He'll be reviewing everything as well. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the Mad Cave stuff yet, some of it's quite good. Some of it misses the point, but a lot of it's quite good. So, go check out his reviews. And if you're in
yeah, good.
Australia, you can definitely get them from your local comic book shop as well.
Yeah, I'm actually heading down to Melbourne at the end of the month, so I'll be finally. I reckon there must be a fairly decent sized file waiting for me in the cabinet for me to pick up and finally read the series. I think have read issue one. Um, but yeah, it's just interesting these one shots. So really, the series continued there. It's a 5 part story, whereas the one shot is like a standalone story in
Yeah,
its own. Yep, you don't have to keep going back month after month to get the next part of the story.
yeah.
And stories, well, we do love them. And Phantom Men, vote for the best story published in Phantom Men in 2025 is on. And not just the best story, but also the best cover. Yes, so stories we do like, we like a series of stories. We like standalone stories. Well, Phantom Men, they are looking for their best story that was published in 2025. Not only the best story, but also their best cover. Those competitions are currently running, Germ.
Yeah, currently running. If you go to our website, you can see the links, or you can just go to phantommen.org. They have prizes. So, they ship overseas. So if you're in India or US or Australia, you can still enter. The thing that's good about this is it gives the editorial team an idea of what the fans are enjoying. So it's not to pat people on the back. It kind of gives them an idea of like, oh, okay, this artist is very popular because his 3 covers are all being voted in the top 10. So we might give him more art, we might give him more covers. This story, well, that story didn't actually get many votes. So, you know, oh, that story was this type of story, so we might not do that in the future. We might do more of these other type of stories. So, it's because a lot of the time the editors are, what's the old saying, throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And that's what they do a lot of the time. So when you vote and let them know what you like and what you don't like, it gives them an idea to be able to have a better judgment of, you know. So I think it is important, and I think, we all need to jump on and vote.
Yeah. And if you want to get our opinions, you can check out our wrap up of 2025, which was a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah, I believe that one is 328.
328. Excellent. Um, and well, if you wanted to vote on what's on a new old jungle staying, well, you're too late. The panda moves faster than lightning, and you're too slow. We've got a new old jungle saying, Germ.
We do have a new old jungle saying. So what did you think of it?
I'm just reading it now. it's not bad. I don't know what else there was, but
Where the
yeah,
phantom shadow falls, justice shines.
I like it's a juxtaposition. You got the shadow, but then you've got the
Yeah,
light as well.
yeah, very true. Look, in my opinion, it was the better one out of the 10. And most people tend to agree with that because it got like 28, 25 or 28%. So yeah, I think most people tend to agree that it was the better one.
Well, obviously, it's one. Oh goodness. But it's not all good and happy news over in our with our Scandinavian friends. The Norwegian Phantom series has been cancelled again.
Look, it's not a laughing matter. I shouldn't be laughing, so I do apologize. But
It might have been the way I led up to it.
man, they've got no luck at the moment. They are trying different things. They are trying different types of series. They've tried the regular, they've tried monthly or quarterly, like album graphic novel type of things. And if you look at the article that we've posted, here's a bit of a rundown just to kind of give you a bit of an idea. In 2018, the regular magazine, after 1,200 issues, was cancelled. In 2019, an Album magazine series lasted 2 issues. In 2021, the yearly album started again, but stopped again in 2024. In 2023, the Phantom Chronologisk series stopped after 28 issues, which started in 2017. And then in 2015, the regular magazine started again, but it lasted 3 issues. That's not very good luck at all.
The fandom's not finding favor over in Norway. The Norwegians have moved on to something else. What's going
Well,
on? They just can't publicize it, or they're not advertising it well enough.
it's a great question or great questions. I think a lot of the Norwegians, I can't speak for them all, even though I've got 5% Norwegian blood running through my veins. I did a DNA test recently. Um, I think a lot of Norwegians are picking up the Swedish comic now. Like
Ah,
even though it's a different language, it's very similar. From what I understand, a lot of Norwegians, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of Norwegians can read Swedish. So they're probably like, let's just get that comic series. And then the ones that are coming out in Fantomet have already been published in Sweden. The Norwegian editors on their Facebook post said that the production costs were very high. So are Egmont Team Phantom stories too expensive to publish? That's another question. It's is it a coincidence that these stories from Team Phantom are not being published in other countries like India, Denmark, I'm trying to think of some others, and Germany, where they're republishing a lot of stories, but they're not publishing Team Phantom stories. So
mm,
yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but it would be good to see more of their stuff published around the world because I feel majority of the Team Phantom stories are better from a lore point of view than the King Charlton stuff and a lot of the US stuff as well.
yes,
So yeah, I would like to see more Team Phantom stories published around the world.
yeah. So hopefully, whatever's going on, people can get through that. Um, but something else that's been released throughout the world is to celebrate 90 years of the Phantom, King Features Syndicate have released a new product. And let me just click on the link. And yes, it's exactly what I thought it was. It's a print of Nemesis of evildoers everywhere, the ruler of the jungle, this white fella in a mask. Yes, that's going to go over well with everybody who are trying to move forward and not do the white savior thing as you were talking about before. This is a cop out. I'm rather than giving the news, I'm giving an opinion on this piece. And KFS, if this is what you're putting forward for the 90th year of the Phantom, go back to the drawing board and get it right because this is an afterthought. This is you were
Yep.
saying about throwing things on the wall. Well, you picked up what fell off. Um, like yes, it's great and it's historical and what have you, but geez, for your 90th
Well,
anniversary, you did this. Would you expect? And you're about to go, well, would you expect something like this for Batman or Superman in a couple of
No,
years' time when they've got their 90 years? No.
no.
So why should we accept it?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're probably the only ones who will call out king features. That's probably the first one. Um, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Many fans and publishers have made a splash about the 90th and King Features or Comics Kingdom, whatever branch you want to put them at, they have stunk it up.
Hmm.
This
You
it's
could do
great to
this
see.
yourself. Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't be, I know there's copyright, but people would go out, find an image, print it off, and put it up on their wall.
It's great to see Cyberi artwork being used again, but the ruler of the jungle bit is a little bit hit and miss when we've seen stuff being rejected because, if Frew created this as a cover or something like that, it would be rejected.
Yep.
So yeah. Yeah, King Features have missed the boat on, unfortunately, on this one. I don't know why they did it, but yeah.
They're not being consistent.
Yeah.
Well, they're consistent in their inconsistencies. There's a few other
Yeah.
Americans like that. Well, there's people around the world. Shakti Comics released more Phantom. Oh, because there's more Phantom items. There we go. Here's my segue. More Phantom items are being released through Shakti Comics, through their sister company. Oh, how would I pronounce that? A Magical, I guess. Magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a
Yeah.
stylized way of doing it with the exclamation mark.
You're
Um,
you- you're getting old when you don't know how to read that in the middle of a word.
now these products, as my screen loads up, um, well, they're far better than what we just saw. And a mouse, I just bought myself a new mouse pad. Look how bland this is. Just some, $3 black thing from Officeworks. I'd much prefer
You
that one. That
could
one
have
looks
brought a
pretty cool.
Phantom mouse pad and then claimed it
Yeah,
back on tax.
absolutely. And it would only be, how much was this? Oh, the t-shirt's only $15.
Yeah.
And the
Mouse
mouse pad's only
pads.
five. I
Yeah.
paid $3 for this. What's the shipping cost like?
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. What is the shipping costs? These are Indian prices, but there's plenty of Indian fans around that will buy this stuff for you, and you can send them a whole bunch of fruits or something like that. So if this stuff interests you, and these are the new t-shirts. It's not all the t-shirts. If you click the link, you'll be able to see all the stuff that they've got there. They've got some other pretty cool shirts. I think there was even a hoodie as well.
Oh,
Uh,
I've just clicked the link.
yep. So for for Steve who lives in cold Ballarat,
Yep.
you can wear a cool Phantom hoodie, or when you go to Sydney next in the middle of winter for one of the Phantom conventions, you can wear something like that. And I think that price would be probably about 25, $30 for that hoodie.
Yeah, right. Geez, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like we said, we just got to work out on the shipping, but the artwork on those new items that have popped up, and well, I think they're really good. One looks familiar to artwork that I saw in the Phantom War annual.
Yeah, so the one with the guns, that's actually from a cover. So these are all featuring artwork from their covers,
Hmm.
which I think is really good because like it's it's smart in a sense that these are these are pretty cool covers that they've created. So they own the rights for it because they've paid the artist, and then they're like, well, let's slap it on some t-shirts, let's slap it on a mouse pad, on a jumper and stuff like that. People are going to go, oh, I like that cover. I want to go buy that t-shirt, or I want to go buy that jumper and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I think it's a great way of doing it. I think Free should look at doing something like
I
that
was
as
about to
well.
say, I hope Fru's taking notice.
Um, like, yeah, you already own the artwork from some of these cool covers, and yeah, you might have to pay, you might have to pay a small amount back to the artist, but why not? Why not create some other items like this?
Absolutely. And there's more items coming out. We've got Melon Publishing. They're celebrating the 90th anniversary with collectibles from artwork by Douglas Kluber.
Yeah, look,
Korber, sorry.
it's a great design with the the half Mr. Walker, half Phantom.
Yeah.
I haven't got any of the Malin Diary stuff, so if there's anyone out there that's got them and wants to do a review on the stuff for Chronicle Chamber, contact us. We would love to be able to see your thoughts as you flick through the diary, the journal, and bookmarks and other type of stuff as well. Yeah.
So there's a few different price points. You got the trade edition diary, which is $55, limited edition diary at 65, the undated Phantom Journal at $40, the Douglas Kluber limited edition print. That's limited to only 70 copies. That's $100. And then you've got a bookmark, which a $10 bookmark. It won't be pretty good. Well, in fact, it's a full color gloss and laminated bookmark there. And you can also get a set of 10 design prints, which is a curated selection of introductory spreads from the anniversary diary, including brand new commissioned artwork. But at this stage, there's no word on the artwork included, and that's $90 plus postage. Okay, so thank you, Malin, for putting all that out. What else we got out? The Phantom Tile Art by Artovision 3D. It's been a while since I've looked at this one. Can you remind me what it is, Jim?
Um, it's like this. It's like a. I'm trying to think. It's a clear bit. I don't know, a bit of plastic, bit of glass or something, where it's got images laid in it, which kind of gives it a bit of a 3D look, and it's ornament, I guess you'd stick on your shelf or in your display cabinet or on your desk, and it's a classic Cybari, arms folded, kind of worm view tile piece. Look, it's a great, it looks good. I haven't brought one, so if there's anyone, again, if there's anyone out there that has brought one and wants to do a review on it, video for us, please let us know. But yeah, so I think they call it a Arto Vision is a produce layered 2D artwork on acrylic to give it a 3D effect. Some of the stuff that I've seen them do looks pretty cool.
Okay. Right, yeah. Now, do you think that this next thing's pretty cool, Jim? We're mixing gambling with Phantom toys or Phantom figurines. The Aristocrat slot machine has teamed up with Boss Fight, and have produced a limited edition figure. Well, the figure is the figure from Boss Fight Series 1, but there's new packaging artwork, which actually
Yeah.
has the slot machine on it. And what do you, I know my feelings. What are your feelings on this one, Jim?
Well, look, totally understand gambling, the concerns you have about gambling. I don't gamble personally because I don't want to start getting addicted. My wife would probably say that I already waste enough money on the Phantom, let alone on pokies. There's been Lee Falk has written stories about gambling. There was Wambo the Gambler. There was also in the second childhood Phantom story, I believe it was, where Bob, Kit Walker, the 21st Phantom, Kit's roommate got caught in gambling as well. So, but look, Aristocrat obviously have given King Features a bucket load of money, probably all in $1 coins from the from the slots. So, if they're going to pay for it, we're going to see it, which is the same reason as why we've seen beer mugs, we've seen cigarette lighters, we've seen ashtrays with the Phantom on it, we've seen lolly
Shot glasses.
cigarettes, shot glasses, and all this other type of stuff that we've seen the Phantom in Playboy magazines, which is all these elements and things that are as addictive as gambling. So I think for those who are upset about this, totally agree with you, but maybe don't be so tunnel vision that you're just focusing on that. Maybe you should focus on the other stuff that's been that has had the Phantom slapped on it as well.
Look at you expanding and saying it's not that bad, especially if it's been on a beer mug or something like that. Oh,
I agree. I agree it's bad, and I personally don't think we should do it. But I think that would be hypocritical if you're just focusing on that and not focusing on the Phantom being in a Rolf magazine or a Playboy magazine or in an ashtray, which, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just as detrimental for people's lifestyle and family life as a slots machine.
and all guess who are they marketing to? They're not
Yeah.
marketing the kids with this with well, a lot of things that you mentioned there. Um, and I guess with this either, it's for the older collector rather than kids, which
But I will
you
say
know,
I've got
yeah.
one. I've got one. I picked up one of these limited edition figurines.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of funny, like, and this is not an ego trip at all. And so if it sounds like one, I apologize ahead of time. But I brought one before I wrote the article. And I had someone pick me up on this. I wrote the art. I brought one. I think it cost me about 30 US. And I know someone else who brought one before and he got it cheap as well. And then the article came out, and then all the collectors and all the completists and the people that have got vacuum collections and, where it gets sucked in and it never gets seen again, they all saw it and they were all like, oh, I want one as well. And then the next two that have been on sale on eBay have sold for like 200 Australian dollars
All
afterwards.
right.
So, yeah, so there's
You got in
definitely
quick.
fans. Yeah, there's definitely fans out there that might not agree with gambling and stuff like that, but when there's a variance of something, they're definitely getting it.
Well, if it came around for the right price, I'd probably do the same. So, I like your term, the vacuum collector. That's pretty good. Um, and I think I've heard you say that one before. The Phantom inside Barry at Budapest, Hungary Comic Con in 2026. When's that coming up? Is Cy Barry going
This month.
to Hungary?
No, but he's
Oh,
done a pre-recorded interview that they're actually going to be playing during the Comic Con.
yeah, right. I thought,
Um,
crikey, Cy Barry's going over there. Well, good on you, mate.
I think it's his, by the time this comes out, he'll be celebrating his 98th birthday, I think it is.
98.
I
Crikey.
think he's got his birthday coming up, and when I last did the maths, I think it's 98. So,
Wowzers.
and he's looking good as well, Cy Barry.
Mm.
He's still doing interviews. He did a video for us for the Phantom's birthday as well. And then he's done a video for the Hungry Comic Con. The Buby Bolt, the comic publisher, has got the volume 2 coming out as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's good to see the Phantom making a bit of a splash at in Hungary.
Yeah, very good. And over in Sweden, well, we already know that Sweden's quite up there with the Phantom, but we've got a is it an art exhibition or a lecture? What's happening over there with this Swedish McCoy lecturer?
So Martin Goldbeck slash Lowe, he produced back in 2016, 2017, he produced several Wilson McCoy expeditions with artwork, items with his things on it, big blow up of his of panels, and even got his grandson, Wilson McCoy's grandson, out to Sweden to talk about Wilson McCoy and stuff like that. So that was huge in 2016 and 2017. Well, he's back and he's doing a lecture, about an hour-long lecture with a couple hundred images and photos and stuff like that. So yeah, that's coming out. I think it will be, by the time this is published, it'll be in the next day or two. So yeah, we've published it on the website. So hopefully, if you're interested in going, you would have read it on the website. But yeah, I've had a quick chat with Martin this last week, and he's rather excited about this lecturer. And yeah, we wish him all the best. And again, like we said before, hopefully people look at this and go, "Oh, Wilson McCoy, the Phantom." Go along, or they dig out their old Phantom comic and then they go buy a new one or something like that. So yeah, hopefully we get a bit of that over in Sweden.
Very good. Um, and where we got Mythos Editoria have released a reprint of King's Watch. That's from a few years back. Good to see these guys seeing it. Has the KFS logo, or when you say the KFS logo, you're talking about the 90th anniversary KFS logo, the thing they actually did
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So yeah, for those who are coming late, they've created a look. I actually quite like the 90th logo. I don't
Mm.
think it works for a on it to be featured on a comic, but I think it works. If you're on YouTube, you'll see the King's Watch trade paperback replacing our mugs. So you can, and you'll actually be able to see the logo to it. It's good to see someone using the King Features logo. I know Sweden they've created their own logo, but Free hasn't used it. Mad Cave Studios hasn't used it. Any of the Germany publishers haven't used it as well. Haven't seen it on any of the Indian ones for Shatki and some of the other lesser known ones as well. So it's good to see Brazil. They had a great party, and it's good to see that they're using the logo as well.
Excellent. Will we see that them reprint the Mad Cave Studios Defenders of the Earth series now?
That's a great question, Steve. It's a great idea, and I reckon it will. I had a chat with Celso Nunes. He's probably one of my main contacts over in Brazil. And he made mention that the Defenders of the Earth, which is what King's Watch is and the Mad Cave Studios, was very popular back in the 80s and the 90s. So he reckons that the reason they've re-released this, the King's Watch, is release that, and then they'll do the Mad Cave Studios two comic book series as well. So I reckon you're onto something there.
Okay. And some original art to buy. We got Wendell Cavalcanti, Jim Calafiore, and Boris Kay.
Yes. So look, people are out there that like buying original fandom art. You know, they love reading a comic and they go, "Oh, this art is amazing. Oh, that would look amazing." You know, framed and hanging up on my wall. Well,
Says the fellow
all
with it all behind him there.
um, those three artists have got artwork for sale. That's what they've announced in the last couple of weeks. Boris has got his listed on eBay. When I last checked, he still had a couple of pages. That's from the crossover between the Phantom and Mandrake.
Mhm.
Jim Calafiore, who did the first Defenders of the Earth. I know he's got some cover art still up there, and he's got interiors and some really cool interior pages as well. And Wendell did the Golden Circle story, and he's got some artwork as well. So yeah,
So
um,
all artwork from new stories, from new release
yeah,
stories. Yeah. Good to see. Now, Jim, some news just to hand. I don't know if you've seen this, if you've checked the messages as we've been recording, but there's some massive goings on with the Phantom video game. Um, so the Phantom video game has been reclassified. The people who do the classifications, you know, whether it's a G rating, a PG rating, and all the rest of it, have reclassified the Phantom video game. It's gone from a PG-7 to a PG-12, and has forced Art of Play to re-release the game digitally on every platform. So they've got a little bit of work to do to get that out of the way. But then there's going to be a massive update, including a stack of bug fixes and audio stuff. You name it, they're onto it. They've listened to criticism. They've come out. They've realised that there's these bugs. They've got to get this little nugget out of the way first in regards to reclassification of the game, and then they can get back into the updates that are coming. Now, I mentioned bug fixes and audio fixes. There's also another little tidbit there, which I'm just keeping quiet. But hopefully there'll be a big, I'll put a smile on gaming fans' faces. And I will admit, I've played the game on both the Switch and on the Xbox. I think the Switch version has been out for a while, and yes, there are issues at the start, but after a while, the updates kind of started coming in and was a far better game, and I really enjoyed it. But having started to play the Xbox game, there are a few of those bugs in again. So I'm looking forward to those bugs being squashed and being able to play it on the Xbox.
so
Yes.
from someone who's got a limited gaming background, Watching my kids play Minecraft is very boring, so it doesn't
Oh, oh
games doesn't
yes.
exist. So what does you made mention of the classification.
Mm.
How does that affect the game, seeing it's now a PG-12 instead of a PG-7?
In effect, it doesn't. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't. It's like a rating on a movie. It's still the same movie. It's just who's it recommended for. So being PG-7, I assume, means for 7 years old and up. It's
So does
all
that
good.
does that mean, like, for instance, if I got one child that's 6 and is logged on to the store, if it was, oh no, sorry,
Ah,
if they were 7, if they were, and then would they be able to then buy it? But now seeing
yeah, I
it's a
see your point now.
PG-12, will that not show up in the games that they can buy?
That's a good point, and I would assume, with um with what's happened with my own kids, they have to ask for parental permission if they want something that's above their age group. So
Mm,
that will probably affect the Phantom game now. Whereas an age rating of 7 means pretty much anyone can get it. An age rating of 12 means that you'll need to seek permission from your parent or whatever beforehand,
yeah,
before getting it digitally. And let's face it, they should be getting permission from their family anyway, because it's not like it's a free game that you're just downloading. It's going to cost you a bit of coin. And
yeah,
yeah, if I know if I had a 6 or 7 year old, I wouldn't be letting them free on any web store. So yeah.
yeah. Now, obviously, as you said, this is stuff literally as we've been recording, we're getting this news. Obviously, by the time this probably comes out, some of the answers might even be done. Steve's probably would have even written the article as well with the, so yeah, but just in case you're listening to this after you've read the article and you're going, but you've answered your own question. We've recorded this before the article has been written. So yeah.
Well, Jerm, it has been great talking Phantom with you for the last, well, hour and a bit, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see how we go with the edit points, but maybe we cut it down to an hour. Thank you from wherever you are for listening or watching us. Our next podcast will be reviewing the comics from Fru, from the USA and from Germany that have been released in January and February of 2026. Our website, of course, it hasn't changed from any other podcast. It is chroniclechamber.com. And if you'd like to join in, please contact us via our email, which is chroniclechamber@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback and opinions on our social media platforms or over at our YouTube channel. Dan, we didn't make mention of this at the start of the podcast. I hope you're having fun today. I think he's got a family do on. Wishing you all the best. And from me, happy fandoming.
Happy fandoming, everyone.
Enemies beware, the Phantom's always there, but you won't find the Phantom. He fights